Hello traders, so welcome to our YouTube channel. This will be the second video of this playlist, and in this video I'm going to be talking about other factors that I put into consideration before I take my trade. In my last video I showed you how to identify trend, how to know when the market is trending down and how to know when the market is trending up, and I also told you how to know when the market is in a range. And another thing I talked about is the candle formation, how the candles are formed and why the candles are how they look in the different occasions. So that is the first aspect of my trading, the chart analysis. So you have to do yourself a favor by watching that video before you come over to watch this video. So if you are currently here, I will advise you to pause this video and go back to watch that video on how to analyze the chart. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about another very important area or aspect of my trading, which is support and resistance. Because as you already know, I trade using support and resistance. I trade using, sometimes I use trends or support and trend resistance lines, and then most importantly I use candlestick psychology. So these are all the things that I'm going to be talking about in this playlist. In this video I'm going to be talking about how to mark key levels, how to draw strong support and resistance areas so that you can find areas to enter into a trade. So I'm sure this will be a very important class in this playlist. So sit back and relax and make sure you watch this video till the end, because I will be revealing a lot very important aspect of my trading strategy in this video. So I'm sure that's one thing you are interested in. So how do you draw support and resistance line? Now the first thing I'm going to talk about here is that when you look on this chart, I'm not going to bore you with grammar or anything. I'm not going to show you any fancy graphic or whatever. I'm just going to use this pure chart to show you how to spot out all these things, because this is all you are going to need. Looking at this chart, you can see that there are countless levels. Now you are not going to focus your mind on all the levels that you are seeing on this chart. Now this is a level. Now I'm trying to get on the line. This is a level. Now this is another level, and this is another level in this market. This also is another level in this market, and this is another level in this market. Now you can see that I have already gotten 4 levels already in this one chart. Now you are not going to go ahead and be drawing multiple levels, because this is just going to make your chart very messy. What you are going to do is you are only going to focus your attention on only the areas where the market reverses with so much intensity. Those are the key areas that you are only going to focus on the chart. That means, you see, this line is not going to be useful, and this one also is not going to be useful. So you can see that this is a very strong zone in the market. If you are going to get another line, I'm going to show you. This area also is a very strong area as well, because it looks very strong. This is a strong area and this is a strong area. You are not going to mark every area. You are only going to look out for those areas that are very clear, that you can see. Those are the areas that you can trust. So now, what is a support? A support line is the previous buyer's zone. The previous buyer's zone. Now this line is a support. This very line is a support. Why? because in the previous, this was where the buyers took charge of this market, and this is where the buyers took charge of the market as well. That being said, a line that has worked as a support right now can also work as a resistance in the future. And a resistance is an area where the market, where buyers took charge of, or where sellers rather took charge of the market, like this area. This is a resistance area. Now this resistance area can also in the future work as a support. Now let me show you some proof to back up my claims so you can understand what I'm trying to say. Now this is an area of resistance before in the past. You can see that the market respected this area as resistance. Now this market moved and broke this resistance line, and it became a support again in the future. You can see now this is a line that was a resistance before. Now it is acting as a support again. Now the same line acted as a resistance, as a support, has already now acted as a support again. So you can see that these lines can serve as both resistance as support at different times of the market. Now what happens is each time a resistance line is broken, that is what we refer to when we say that a structure has been broken. And you know, when a structure is broken, the market is always going to retest that structure again. Now when it retests that structure, these are always, most of the times, that those are almost the best trading opportunities that you are going to find in the market. For instance, if this structure is broken here, you are going to wait for a retest, and then you can wait for chances to see if you can trade or not. These are mostly some of the best chances that you find in the market. Now this is all about trend. This is all about support and resistance. Now having said that, we don't only have support, horizontal level of support and horizontal level of resistance. We also have trend support and trend resistance lines as well. Now how do you draw a trend resistance line? Now I have already told you how to identify a trend. Now to be able to know how to enter into a trade when you are in a trendy market, you are going to do that through the help of a trend line. And that is what we show you how to enter into that trade. Now you are going to draw a trend line by connecting at least 2 to 3 key areas of the previous market levels together to be able to get a strong trend. Now for instance, you can see that this is a downtrend, but how do you connect these to be able to enter a trade? Let's say for instance that the market is maybe the market is somewhere around, if the market is somewhere around this level, if the market is here, now how do you now enter into a trade? How do you now anticipate this trend so that you can enter into a trade in the future? What you are going to do is you are going to draw a trend resistance line, and you are going to do that like this. You see, you are going to connect at least 1, 2, or maybe 3. Then you are going to wait for the market to come back to that trend. Then you can see if you can have an opportunity or not. I'm not saying you are always going to have opportunities, but you know, this is part of the market or the chart analysis, and how to know what to do so that you can easily enter into a trade. Now if the market is currently here, and this has already been confirmed as a downtrend, maybe it could be a major trend or a minor trend, you are not going to trade here because this is a support. This is a resistance because it is a previous sellers zone on this trend. Sellers took charge here, sellers took charge here. You can see that. So this is why it is referred to as a resistance trend line. Now you are going to wait for the market to at least reverse back to test this trend line. Then you are also going to confirm it with different other confluences that I use with my strategy. You are going to confirm with your horizontal level of support to know how it did in the past, if that level is strong or not. You are going to draw lines like this. Then you are going to check back to see if that level is a strong level or not, to know if you are going to enter into that trade and or not. And that is not only the only thing that you are going to look out for. So you are going to stick to this channel, because everything will be talked about in all of my trading sections: how I enter trade, why I enter trade, and everything. I do all this in-depth analysis, all this in-depth explanation of how I enter my trade. So this is how to draw a resistance trend line. And resistance trend line, we only draw them when the market is trending down, because when the market is a downtrend, it is a seller's market. So, and you know that resistance is a seller zone. So trend resistance lines are areas that are lines that we use, or they are technical tools that we use to spot out the trends, so that we can know how to enter into a trade in the future. Now, how do you draw a support trend line? You are going to draw a support trend line in an uptrend, because in an uptrend we are only going to look for buyers opportunities. So you are going to do that by connecting at least 1 to 2 key areas of the previous buyers areas on the trend. Now you are going to do that like this. You are going to start from the most recent area of the buyers on that trend, and you are going to connect it to the next, and just like that. Now, assuming this was a strong trend, you will see that it will be retesting it in the future, just like that. Now, if we, for instance, we come into this chart and the market was somewhere around, let's say the market was here, we are not going to trade here. We are going, since we have already confirmed that this is a strong trend, because it has already been respected here and here, we are going to wait for the market to retest the level again in the future. And it doesn't always respect it. Like you can see what happened here. The market broke this support, this support trend line. It broke it so strong. So you are not just going to wait and see that the market has tested it and then you are going to buy. You are not going to do that. You will wait for all the confirmations to know, or to support your view that the market should be going up. Otherwise, you are going to stay off. These are all of the things that I do before I place a trade. Now, I want to talk about something that is very important also. Now, there's what we call zones. If you have listened to me, maybe my previous videos, you will see that I always refer to a zone. Now, how do you draw a support zone and a resistance zone? It is simple. There is no fancy in that. It is just like getting a complete area of that support, and we do that by including both the body of the candle, like here, and the wicks together to get the complete zone of the previous buyer's area. Like this is a zone because we connected both the body of the candle and the wicks of the candle. That is why we refer to it as a zone. Now we call it a zone or an area, but I will be advising you as a beginner trader that you should always draw zones. Don't just draw a horizontal level of support by just a single line. You should include both the area, like both the body of the candle and the wicks. That is how to get a proper area, because most times the market will not always hit the areas where you want it to hit. It might not get there, but it may enter into a zone. But if it might enter into the zone, and if you do not draw the zone, you may not know that it has already hit, and you may be waiting for something that may not happen in the market. Like this is a zone. You can see that it isn't hit here, but you can see that it was respected. It was respected because we included the zone as well. Now the same thing is for the resistance. If you are going to draw a resistance level of there's a level, we are going to also include both the wicks and the body of the candle. In this scenario, this is what you are going to do. You are going to position it accurately, because these lines are very important. You are going to try to draw them as accurate as you can. So this is a zone. You can see that. Now, these are very much effective when we have extreme levels in the market. I mean, when we talk about extreme levels, we are talking about the areas of the market that maybe the lowest part of the market that the market has reversed from, like this area. These drawing areas in such extreme levels will be very effective for your trading. So you should try to practice that and master that as well, because we use them often when we draw extreme levels. So this is how to draw a zone. We also encourage that traders should draw a zone when they are drawing trend support and trend resistance, but it can be somehow effective. But if you want to do that, it is simply, you are just going to double the lines. For instance, if you plot a resistance, a support trend line like this, all you are going to do is you are going to try to position it in a way that you are going to include both the body and the wicks of this trend support line. And it is simple. You are just going to double this line, and then you are going to try to get at as much areas as you can. So you are going to push it properly to fit in both the wicks and the body of the candle like this. So these are basically the easiest way to draw support lines, resistance lines, support trend lines, and resistance trend lines as well. So I hope you find this video insightful. If you find this video insightful, please drop it on the comment section down below. If you have any questions regarding this video, do well also to drop it on the comment down below. If this is your first time visiting this channel, please subscribe and turn on the bell icon so that you don't miss out in any of our future content. Do well to hit the like button, and thank you in advance. So till I see you again in my future video, keep trading, keep working hard, and have a good day.